Hello everyone, and welcome to our very first live stream on the Expat Finland channel over here. And I'm expecting my friend over here to join us any minute now. Hello Christian. Okay, so apparently I cannot invite you over here into the channel, but you can be our moderator for today. So I'm going to have to keep this live stream by myself. The next week I promised you guys I'm going to be two hosts. So today's plan is to talk a little bit about Finland. Why should you move? Why should you consider move to Finland, and related topics. This stream is brought to you by Globuzzer, and make sure you go and check out the social network of Globuzzer, where you can connect with other experts. We have sections for Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Los Angeles, I think Budapest as well. Many cities, and you can connect with other experts. Also, we have a Skillscanner page where you can find employment right now in the Nordics. It's worth to check it out. So first thing I want to talk about is why would you like to consider to move to Finland, or if you are moving to Finland, or you have moved to Finland, what kind of advantages you can really take of this beautiful country. First of all, I'd like to talk about the education, and I think the most beneficial thing in Finnish education, higher education at least, is the flexibility. So basically students in Finland are responsible for making their own study plan and adjust it to receive a certain number of credit points per month, which is, I think, was it 30 credit points per semester, and so you have to reach this number of credit points in order to graduate in time. And you can also choose the courses. Of course, we have core modules in the universities which are compulsory, and aside from that you can take free choice studies, as many as you want. For example, I took in the end of my graduation, I will be graduating with about 220 credit points. So really make a good use of those free choice studies, and you can learn really a lot. Student benefits, as another thing I want to talk about, is students in Finland can greatly benefit from, for example, cheap public transport, sales for clothing items and food. The cafeteria food in the Finnish university canteens are really good and really cheap. You can really survive a meal from less than €2 or 2.60, something along those lines. And Finland in general offers a lot of degree programs for students in English, and if you want to study in Finnish, of course you can, but you have to have at least level B1 of Finnish language to be able to survive in a Finnish university. Another thing why Finland, I personally choose Finland to move is safety and security. Finland is known to be the best, safest place to live in Europe, one of the safest places, and justified by the low crime rate. Our police forces are trained very professionally, and we have overall really good security, and the Finnish people in general are very friendly and quiet. The stereotypes are true. They like to keep their own personal distance, and they appreciate if you keep the conversational level to the minimum. From my own experience, I'm saying as well. Finland is really intriguing for foreigners because it's, in my opinion, it's exotic, especially if you're coming from a southern country like Spain or Italy. Finland has way colder climate, although this has been a bit different nowadays lately. I remember it was 6 years ago when I was still skiing on the Easter holiday. We had a lot of snow, and nowadays on winter we are lucky if we have a white Christmas, let alone the rest of the winter. Maybe probably February could be the coldest, end of the January, but I've noticed the evolution of the weather over here, especially during the winter, that it used to be way colder when I moved here than what it is now. I have a first question over here. Is there any racism towards Asians? I'm not an Asian, so I couldn't speak for myself, but in general, I don't think so, because I know many young Asian people who were born here, like they were born in Finland, as they are Finnish citizen, and in high school, at least from what they have told me, they really haven't experienced any racism whatsoever, and they were like really a part of the group of the student. Question: are there any English only universities? I'm not sure about universities. Perhaps most of the universities have English degree programs. And we do have a lot of exchange students from a different countries, so they do teach English, but I know there are academies, for example the Hive. It just opened like last year, I think. And last year it opened, and it's a coding academy. It follows like a type of a French piscine based educational program, which is like you have to work really hard to maintain your position, and that's only in English, that school. One of my friends applied over there, and he told from his personal opinion that it's really demanding, but don't be afraid, because if you can keep up with the studies and you are dedicated and unwilling to give up, you will be just fine. And I have studied. I am just finishing up like in December my degree program in University of Applied Sciences in English, and we have joint classes with English and Finnish speaking students, and those are usually conducted in English, so everybody can understand. Korean, I don't know many Koreans actually. I know mostly Vietnamese people over here and Thai. People from Thailand, people move from Thailand to Finland all the time. I had co-workers on previous workplaces who were from Thailand, and they didn't really ever mention that they would have been experiencing any type of racism really. So okay, we got a bit off topic, but yeah. So I wanted to still continue with the why is Finland so intriguing for foreigners, and there is one thing which I especially like, is the freedom to roam. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there are similar uh, there's a similar type of law in Scotland as well, that you can basically enter anyone's forest as long as you don't disturb the owner's personal peace and don't go too close to their property, and you're basically allowed to collect berries, mushrooms, whatever you can find. I was yesterday actually to my nearest forest and I collected a bucket of mushrooms. Going to prepare a meal tomorrow. About Finnish lifestyle, I have noticed from my personal opinion, from my personal view, that Finnish people are really active. They like skiing, they like sports, and from where I'm coming from, there are way less active people compared to here in Finland. And another thing, which mushrooms? I'm going to Google it for you. I'm not sure about the... It was Cantarellis, the first one, which I collected earlier, but the season for those are over. And it was a type of it is from the similar family, but I'm going to link you a Wikipedia page to it. It's right here. Yeah, the season for these mushrooms are right now, so go to the forest and keep your eyes open, because it's so easy to step on these, really, and you don't even notice them. So keep really close eye to the ground and look out for them. You can recognize by its yellow feet and its cap. It's like it has a hole in the center that's like goes all the way down to its foot, like until the ground, and it's really delicious. Really, I'm telling you, you should try it. But we got off topic again, so yeah, we tend to do that over here. So I kind of get the idea that many foreigners rather choose to learn Swedish than Finnish language, and that's completely up to you. Well, we have discussed this topic, I believe, in 2 other threads already, where people were very much on the side of learning Swedish instead of Finnish, because I don't judge you because of that, because for some people who speak German or languages which are very similar to Swedish, it can be very easy to adopt. You have a lot of common words, but if you're going to study Swedish, probably the best places for you to move is the towns on the shores. Like, I know for a fact that Porvoo has a lot of Swedish speaking people. Turku, the whole archipelago area in Turku, and actually there is another smaller town next to Porvoo, and it's called Lovisa. I visited there a couple of times, and it's really a beautiful place, truly. and it's worth to visit. You choose a city with a lot of students, and because there are a lot of students, there are going to be a lot of international people, and you perhaps want to also consider, getting a Finnish degree. And we also have an article. I think Christian can post it over here about how you can kind of get your foreign diploma to be accepted over here in Finland. I only lived in other cities than Helsinki. I've never lived in Helsinki. I would really love to live in Helsinki, but I never lived. Porvoo I have lived in, and right now I'm living close to Porvoo. And I lived for 1 year in the UK, where I studied my double degree. But that was in UK, not in Finland, so. Very good question. There is one thing I really wanted to talk about. Is my favorite topic when people ask about Finland is the food. How is the Finnish food? And there's this one food I really like to talk about is in Finnish. It's called poronkäristys. It's a reindeer meat. It's kind of like it reminds me so much of kebab. It looks like kebab, but it don't taste like kebab. And people eat it with mashed potatoes and cranberry jam. I like it, but I often refer to it as tasteless kebab because it really is. It looks like kebab, but it don't taste like kebab. Mammi is. I think it's a Easter food, like people eat it on Easter, and they usually put like vanilla sauce over it, right? And I don't really want to use bad words to describe what the food looks like, but it tastes like rye, basically. It is made of rye and it tastes like rye. If you ever have eaten rye bread, you're going to know what it's going to taste like. It tastes like rye. It's a bit sweeter, but yeah. One thing actually I like made from rye. It's in Finnish it's called saaristolaisleipä, and it's bread you make from. It's made from sweet. It's a sweet syrup, and you mix it with rye flour, and I don't know what other ingredients, but it's really good. It's really, really, really good. You should try it. It's absolutely amazing. A lot of people tend to ask me also about when it comes to integration into Finland is how did I learn the Finnish language? And there's this conception about Finnish language that it's difficult, it's an absolute disaster to learn and you're never going to learn it, which is not true. I would stress it to people to give it at least a try. Try to learn it. I'm natively Hungarian. Native language is Hungarian, so it is equally disastrous language as Finnish, but the logic is pretty much the same. So you bend the words, and instead of having a lot of words that are bent, like adding things to the word itself. So you kind of catch my drift. So Swedish in terms could be easier for people who speak languages which follow the gender. Uh, you have the genders in the words like masculine and feminine, and some languages have also a neutral form of a form of words that also bend their own way. But I was never ever good at those languages, so that's why I had a problem with learning Swedish. I'm trying, I'm doing my best. I took Swedish basics, so um, slowly building it up. But otherwise, from my perspective, Finnish language was relatively easy for me to learn. When I came here to Finland, what I did as very first, well, I already did that in my home country, I bought a picture book. I wonder if I can show it. I don't think I have it on my bookshelf. It was a picture book with very simple drawings like a table, chair, food, dinner, whatever, and there was the word for it in my mother tongue, and there was the word for it in Finnish. So you just keep looking at this book and memorizing the words, and mm, then you kind of, when you have a vocabulary of the words, then you start learning the um, start learning how to just say normal phrases like good morning, good evening, and how to ask for a coffee or a beer. We have a question: what is the best aspect in Finland in your mind? Best aspect in Finland. I've already talked about the freedom to roam. I think the free education is good. We don't have to pay tuition fees, although there was a change in the educational system. I think a couple of years ago, that before that people from non-EU countries, they didn't have to pay tuition fee to study in the universities, but now they do unfortunately have to. So bear that in mind, that if you come from a non-EU country, you are looking at tuition fees if you want to study in universities. There is one thing that really bugs my mind in Finland, actually, is the complicated bureaucracy. And Finland has, compared to my home country, Finland has really complicated bureaucracy, and even getting a simple employment like a waiter or anything in basically in the catering industry, or uh, any type of basically blue collar work, you have to have all types of hygiene passes, alcohol pass, safety pass, fire, what was it called, fire, handling fire or hot objects pass. Like, there is everything. And probably the most unpleasant thing about this, that it's not enough if you do it once. You have to renew these passes, I think, in every 3, 4 or 5 years, depending on what you have. First aid pass, and so forth. So I've attended a first aid pass because some of the schools where you go if you study in university, in order to complete the university, you have to have the certain passes. If you're going to study in something related to engineering, like I don't know if you study energetics or something, then you're probably going to have to complete the work safety course and work safety pass. And in my university, at least, is offered for, I think it's either free or a much lower price to do the hygiene pass and the alcohol pass. So I've done those, and otherwise they cost a hell of a lot of money. So if you are a student and you are planning to stay in Finland after your studies, consider doing those courses because they can be really beneficial. We have another question. What is an experience that you went through that made you feel really safe in Finland? Really safe in Finland. I think just like the fact that when I used to live in Porvoo, I felt really safe even to go out at the dark times. Like really, it was just the whole overall atmosphere. Like it just like makes me feel safe really. Knowing that the crime rate in this country is really like relatively low. Do you need car for transport, or is the public transport in Espoo and Helsinki sufficient? I live far away from the capital, so I have a car, but I think the public transport in Helsinki and Espoo are very good. There is metro, and it's dirt cheap. So really, if I was to live in Helsinki, to move to Helsinki, I would just probably sell my car and never use a car really, because it's so easy. There is trams, there is buses, there are metros, and both of them fairly good. All of them fairly good prices, and you can get the Helsinki public transport card, which you can save money if you like have a monthly subscription. And also students, that's very important, that students can also save a lot of money from the student benefits. They get really cheap public transport. So I think there's only one part of which is like close to Helsinki is Viikki, that don't really have a metro station, which is a shame because Viikki has a very big university complex. They teach biology and agriculture. It's an agricultural university, and it's kind of shame that you can't really move with metro to Viikki, but otherwise Vantaa, Espoo, Helsinki metropolitan area, it's really good public transport. We have still one question. How long did it take to be fluent Finnish? I've answered this question in a previous post, but it took me about 2 years. So yeah, I actually was going to finish that. One thing I was going to say about that is when I came to Finland, before that I bought a picture book with all the pictures and all the words written out in Finnish and my mother tongue. And then after knowing the vocabulary a bit better, you can build up you can build on it. It's kind of like a good foundation. You can learn after that the phrases, and you can learn about how to say more complex sentences. But what I did, and which was really good choice from me, is once I moved to Finland, I almost immediately signed into a Finnish school that was an education for adult people, that was more of a vocational education, so to say. and it was completely in Finnish. So before I started studying there, the headmaster of the school put a 2 double pages A4 paper into my hand and told me that, son, you have to learn all these words and all these phrases, and you can start in school in September. So I went home and I was reading these papers day and night, learning everything, and I was able to start in school in September, and in 2 years after that I graduated from the school with a fluent Finnish. It's really, I think it's really much about that I didn't even try to conversate with anyone in any other language than Finnish. Not in English, I didn't try to look up any of my home country's associations over here in Finland. Just push Finnish as much as you can and you're gonna be fine. It took me first 7 months. 7 months. Not bad. Can we study with B-type work visa? I don't think so. There was a little bit of confusion nowadays, and I've also made a post about this recently, and people keep asking about visas all the time. So the thing is that if you got a visa for working visa and you have a company obviously written on where you work, now the legislation was changed and you can change your employer, but I do not think that you can study with work visa. I think you have to apply for a different visa for that, but I think you can do it from Finland. What is the easier way to find a job in English? It probably depends on your vocation and occupation, really. But some fields are easier to find work in English. Some fields are harder. But we have a web page actually for that. I think Christian can also post it to the chat over there. It's the Skillscanner. We have a lot of cooperation with companies with English-speaking work, offering English-speaking jobs, and we also have a Facebook group that's I'm going to dig it up for you. That's English-speaking jobs in Helsinki. So if you, Christian, would be so kind and also link that to the video chat, I would be grateful. Reading the question, we're having a language obligatory to get a citizenship. Should Finland do as Sweden not have it? I'm not sure what you exactly mean, but in Finland you can get citizenship with 2 languages. So you either learn Swedish or Finnish. Both of the languages are equally eligible for the citizenship. And if you have a proof that you have an education that you have conducted in Finnish or Swedish language, it works as a proof of the knowledge of language skills, so you don't have to go for a separate test. Okay, like I have like I previously explained, that I went to a Finnish speaking vocational school when I moved to Finland, so therefore the certificate from the school is a good enough proof of my language skills. So if you know what I mean. Open university courses are also good, Rami over here mentioned. You can collect credit points if you do open university courses, and especially now during the corona time, Now in the corona time, a lot of universities in Finland offering online remote studying in terms of the open university courses. So really, some of them cost, some of them don't. But if you earn enough credit points from open university courses, you can apply to a university, study some core modules, and get a degree. Okay, I did not know that. Rami over here wrote that he means that in Finland you need to have a YKI to get a citizenship. In Sweden they would not require. What is my opinion on that? First and foremost, I think it's if I move to it's only my personal opinion, but if you move to a foreign country to understand the culture and to understand how people think, you're going to have to learn the language, or at least to to kind of know. Learning the language helps you understand how people think, and it helps you. It really enhances you how fast you can integrate. Okay. So it also probably one of the factors that helped me integrate the most is learning the language, and I would probably put it as a number one priority for everybody who moves to a foreign country. It doesn't matter where you move, but do the best to learn the language, the local language. The more you can communicate with the locals, the easier they're going to accept you, and the easier you're going to find a work, and overall your life is the easier it's going to be the life, and you will not completely rely on if you are looking for a rent. Now, how you are going to communicate with your landlord, right? Are you going to want to look for somebody who is willing to talk to you in English? Now, Finnish people speak really good English, but it's still there is this thing in me that always makes me want to aim to integrate as much as I can, because I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy who is the foreigner, and I don't want to be treated differently. So I think it's important to learn the language and to integrate, and you will be able to get the most out of your staying in a different country. Okay. Which question? Can you tell something about part-time master's degree for EU outsider? Does it have same value as full-time? Wow, that's a good question. To be honest, I didn't even know that there is part-time master's degree. Or do you mean the open university courses and what you a degree that you get from or or do you mean the degree program that you are doing, like if you are working somewhere, okay, and you are doing a university degree during the same time? Do you mean that? Part-time master's degree. Yeah, working and studying at the weekends. I know a relative of mine did the same. He was studying IT, and uh, what do you exactly want to know about? Like, you can do it. Yeah, it's possible. and actually many universities offer part-time university master's courses, and I think it lasts 2 years. So yeah, he does it in 2 years, the master's degree, while working on the weekdays and studying on the weekend. And well, I asked his opinion. I think it was about a year ago. I think he should be graduating by now, and he said it's bearable. Like he anyways works in IT, but he will want to, climb the ladder at the company. So he opted for more studies. So I hope the answer was sufficient enough. But okay, we can return to this question. I'm going to save this question, and we are going to have a look, and I'm going to try to post an answer for this tomorrow or during the weekend, and we'll try to figure this out for you, don't worry. And yeah, anyway, if there are answers which left unanswered, we are going to have a look at them, and we are going to try to answer them in a longer post, okay? Yeah, so thank you for joining me, everyone, and I'm really grateful for all the viewers and all the good questions. And if you people like this live stream and you like this type of content, just leave it in the comments, and we are going to try to somehow tailor these sessions to the topics that people are the most interested in. So if you have a topic that you would like to know more about, then just leave it in the comments. The next live stream we are planning to do is directed to students, and we would more talk about matters that are more exclusive to students and student visas and so forth. So if you're a student, or even if you are not a student, don't forget to miss that one. And thank you everyone for joining us. Don't forget to visit globuzzer.com and join. We have a beautiful expat community over there. We share articles. You can connect with other expats, and if you are interested to create your own blog and you want to write about your experiences in living in a foreign country, you can do that as well. Just drop us an email and we will create you a page and you can start writing. Don't forget to also visit Skillscanner if you're looking for a job. There are a lot of free open positions which are exclusively for English speaking people all over the Nordics and Scandinavia. So make sure to check out the website. Christian is going to one more time link it to the chat if you have missed it, okay? So thank you everyone, and see you guys in the next one.